Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, everyone. This is me, Jonathan Alexander, and I'm here to host our show, Life, Laughter, Happiness. Today, I have my co-host, Barbara, with me. Are you there, Barbara?
Yes, I am. Hi, Johnny. Hi, everybody. How are you on this Tuesday?
Doing good. Good. And, I think the reason that the topic is today is because it's interesting. We think of people who have your back, people that are there to make sure that, there are things, you can't go through this life alone. You can't go through this life without people who are going to help you out. And that's why we decided to do a show called Long Friendships Are Priceless,
Yeah. And you and I both are at the age where we can actually talk about that because we have had very long friendships already in life. And continue, Johnny. I didn't mean to stop your introduction there.
With you, many, I think it was about a few years ago when you did the Playmate series, I realized that...
what are you talking about, a few... Johnny, what do you mean
what?
A few years ago? We just had Tashara on last week.
Well, no, what I'm trying to say is when you started doing the Playmate series, the point that I'm trying to make is that a lot of those people, those Playmates, are friends of yours. These are women that you've known for years. You understand what I'm saying? And it's sort of like David DeVasquez.
Strangers.
Yeah, they're not strangers. Like David DeVasquez, Brandy Roderick,
Yes, we have interviewed, I think, 30 Playmates, and they are wonderful women. It's wonderful, and those are my friends. But there are even friends without a title. They may have the title, they may not, because the title doesn't matter. The person is the friendship, and that does not just happen overnight. And when you have a long-time friend, and our title of the show tonight is Long-Time Friendships Are Priceless. And that's not even saying, oh, that's so great. Hold on. That's not even saying it's always so great. Priceless, meaning in many different ways it's priceless. It could be priceless in the way that they may teach you a life lesson. You could learn a lot from these relationships, and they make you feel good. If you have a long-time friendship, and it's the kind of friendship that you're talking about, Johnny, where they have your back, there's no better feeling. And that love, like I'm feeling that love right in my heart right now because I just spent a few really wonderful days with a very close friend of mine, and we've been friends for over 30 years. So that is priceless. And you may meet new friends, and those are great too. They're fabulous. They're wonderful. You should nurture them and cherish them as well. But these long-time friendships, whether you have ups and downs, that's fine. That's part of life. That would probably not, it wouldn't even be normal to not have ups and downs. That means that you're showing more vulnerability. Or, they're like your brother or your sister, really. They're closer to you than a family member. And you might start snapping at them or disagreeing or just, who knows, grow apart for a minute. But I think that we all should just really take a step back and look at what we have in all of those friends, those friendships.
I know. And, I mean, you've, like, for example, when you became a Playmate, you met a lot of people. You met a lot of people that you still know. Like I'm trying to think of this woman's name that you had the meeting. No. This wasn't. I don't. This wasn't anybody that you interviewed. This was somebody that you had a bunch of playmates on to channel. You know, this particular person.
Oh, right. Okay. Are you talking about the makeup artist for Playboy who worked on a lot of our centerfold shoots? Yes. She is
Alexis
a perfect
Vogel,
example.
Was that her name?
Yes. Alexis Vogel. Yes, and she has passed away. And wasn't that easy to get all of those Playmate sisters to call in? We had, I think, 8 to 10 all on.
Yes.
Calling in and out on the hour. It was smooth. It worked seamlessly. It was a great show. And we had a medium on, and we channeled Alexis Vogel just so they could, they all were just jumping at the chance to say, I love you. Oh, I have the best memories. And, you know, because a lot of times you think, I got close with that makeup artist. Maybe I'm the only one. But no, she touched all of these Playmates' lives, and she made it a wonderful experience for us because we're in the makeup chair every day with her, and, you know, we're nervous. We don't know what's going on. Some are only 18 years old, and she just made you feel so good. She did. She was wonderful. Do you have one, Johnny, that you could tell us about of your own?
Well, you know, I have, there is a guy that I called we went to college together, and when we were in college, I had a learning disability. So my parents, what you do is you sign up for the service to give you help if you are learning disabled. The problem was that it cost money, and it bothered me because I don't know why having a learning disability should make your tuition higher. But anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is that I always wanted to study with other people. So because I would study with other people, I would always, you know, go and meet this one guy named Adam who was dyslexic, you know. And Adam was this big business guy. He knew a lot about business and everything. So every time we would take a class, we would sit next to each other, you know, so that he would, you know, pick up on some things. And he's always been, you know, sort of the guy that I go to study with. You know, like I'll take a biology class, he was there. I took a political science class, he was there. And he was always the networker, you know, with me. He would always sit there. He knew everybody and everything. And in Reinhardt, it was always this feeling. I always sort of felt like maybe I don't have a lot of male friends. Most of my friends are women, you know, but he was one of the few male friends that I had that was kind of understanding of what I went through, you know. But we would always study together. All the time we would study together. You know, if it was reading something, it was always we would study together. And you know, now I have mentioned the show to him many times, and actually I think he's called in a few times. But we never interviewed him. But the thing is that he was always somebody that was intelligent, that, you know, that he knew how to market, and he majored in business in college. So he knew a little bit about businesses and how things worked. So it's just that I think what it is that, you know, I was autistic. I think it took a little while for everybody to figure that out. And it made it very hard for me to not look weird in front of people, you know. So, but he always understood it, you know. He always understood it. So,
that's wonderful. I get it, Johnny, because I have that relationship with you as well. Because the first year I worked with you, I didn't even know you had autism. The first year.
Yeah.
And when you told, then some things actually made more sense, because autistic people tend to take things very literal. They're not getting a lot of wit. and I am very witty. I can be sarcastic, and the individual is just not getting that. But I can pick up on that because I'm a good people reader. And so I was just thinking, oh, well, Johnny, I like it, though, because when you say you have to go and you're on the phone, he's like, okay, bye, and he hangs the phone up. I was just loved it. So,
well, actually, there's also, there's also sometimes, like, and I'm not just necessarily just talking about, I'm talking about anybody, like when they're mad, they say things in anger, and then I assume, oh God, do they really mean it? No, they don't really mean it. You're just mad at the moment. But it's just sort of, but I think it's because of the fact that, I mean, like, I have at times been talking to you, and then I will misunderstand something that you're saying, and it pretty much you really have to come right out and say it, like, pretty much what, and one of the things I've noticed is that, like, with you and me, and I've noticed this is kind of funny, is you send very, very long text messages, and I always send one or two word ones. And so what will happen is that I'll be talking to you, and I'll see, like, dancing dots, and I'm thinking, what is she writing to me? And then it's some long text just saying, I just want you to understand that blah, 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 blah. And I'll be like, okay.
No, Johnny, I can't help it if you don't know how to hold it down and let it speak for you, because if you don't let it speak for you, I wouldn't want to read those long things either. But I'm basically speaking into the phone, and then I push send, and I think, oh, no, that poor guy. He's going to have to read all that. Well, thank you for putting up with that. But I think I've gotten past the point of us not, like, understanding. Like, I understand you. You understand me. I see how
there are
other people,
that
Johnny,
you
other people I protected you from.
You have, yes. You
okay.
have.
So
and
that means that I've observed.
Right. And you are right. One time somebody was trying to hurt me, and then you said, that must have been very hard for you. And it was. It was very hard. I mean, it's hard to, make a rough decision. It's hard to sit there, but I had to stick to my guns, I mean, and not let you be treated badly. And not let you, I mean, I had to make a decision about what to do, and so that's what.
And you came through, and you can, and I've seen you grow. And I think sometimes people who have different autistic levels on the spectrum, well, everybody's different, but I keep pushing people around me to, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can grow. I mean, you were in college, Johnny. So you just took the bull by the horn, and you've been just achieving things left and right when, you do make the great decisions because you have a good head on your shoulders. And another thing you have, we're getting a little bit off the friendship thing and more on the family thing, but you have the best family. And you don't understand it when people may raise their voice or get mad or snap at somebody or are rude to somebody, because that doesn't happen in your household, I've noticed. And I've known you, how long now? 5 years. And that doesn't happen in your household. Pardon?
Yeah, I mean, like I think if Van met you, my nephew Van, probably what would happen is he would say something to the effect of, boy, you're a really good dresser.
Oh, that's sweet.
Well, it would be kind of his way of, I think his way of saying, I think what it is that when Van sees a woman that he thinks is really beautiful, he usually will say something like that. He'll probably say something like, oh, I like your hair. Oh, but it's sort of there, and then, it's sort of funny. I mean, I could see like him asking you a lot of questions or something is probably what would happen, but it's just because he probably thinks you're gorgeous. And
nice. Well, that is because he's on a different spectrum than you, because you are running a radio show and many businesses, and your nephew cannot. But you have patience for him. But let's get back on track with the friendship. So this is a great story that you have about your friend. And also, I wanted to ask something about that friendship. Oh, nice. Okay, about that. You probably can even flourish more if you get rid of that of trying to, but you don't have to do it with Adam. But with anybody, Johnnie, that you don't have to be afraid of looking different or looking weird. You're unique, which is a good thing. And be yourself. Hey, you already have Adam on your side. You have me on your side that accept you fully and think you're fantastic. Your whole entire family does. So get rid of that with anybody. That's what I would suggest for your next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know.
Good for you.
I mean, let me ask you this. Who is your best friend?
Well, I have a literal one handful of best friends, and they really know who they are. And what was the strangest thing happened all at once. Within 2 days, some of them that I hadn't even spoken to for too long, a few months, they all called me. I was like a magnet for my close friends. It was really interesting. You know, we have Elkie, of course, Brenda, of course, Kurt, of course. I love, Scotty. I have a lot of really best friends. And even in other worlds, like my ballroom world, I had a ballroom buddy, Lee Uliate, who, we knew everything going on in the industry, and we just could talk for hours, and we just clicked and had lunches. And I do miss her because you move to different states and then you're not around, or something happens in your life, and your life personally changes, and it doesn't have to do with your friendship, but it takes you away a little bit from that friendship. I'm just so glad that I was able to catch up, and I want to go cultivate and do better and get closer to these friends. Even my friend Tracy Cooper Williams from first grade. Of course, mention Jennifer Bennett, who I do talk to every single day, texting, who lives in New York, now my best friend from fifth grade. So, how fortunate am I with all of those that I've mentioned?
Elkie, is somebody that you helped save her life one time. And she's talked about it on the air, so I can go ahead and say it. But, you know about the accident that she had, right? Yeah.
Well, yes, that's there. I was actually there.
I know you was. Well, I know. Sorry, wrong choice of words.
Yeah, I know about it.
But I think you understand. I think you understand the point I'm trying to make.
Well, yes, but I didn't save her life. She got in an accident. I didn't see it. She went over the bluff, and then there were ambulances, and then I was at the hospital. The rescue workers saved her. Somebody on the beach who saw her fall saved her. I just took care of her for the next week while she was in the hospital for 6 days in the ICU with brain injury and three fractures to her skull and all of her facial bones shattered. I was there by her side, and I took care of her dog. And then she stayed with me for another week after the hospital, and we got the walker. And yes, and that was a few years ago. So she can rely on me, and I can rely on her. And we'll always be there for each other at the worst time that you could imagine happening to you. You have that person who will be there somehow for you. I have her, and I have a few others as well. Do you feel like you have that with Adam?
I'm sure I do. But what I thought was nice was that when you, but she did talk. She was on this show, and she did talk about the accident and how you were there. So she was thankful for what you did for her. I think that needs to be brought up.
Thank you. But that was nothing.
But that was a very
30
scary
years
day.
of friendship before that.
Yes, that was a very scary day. When that happened, I called
that
and
was recently. she's been in so many accidents, and so have I, and we've been through so many experiences. We've traveled through Europe together, and we have modeled together. If anybody knows anything about that person, we were roommates at our prime time for a year, right when we both moved to Beverly Hills. And, you know, there's this bond. Plus, we just totally clicked. We're both Leos, and she's funny. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who I'm not their favorite person, but she just thinks I'm just so great. And maybe there's many people who don't understand her, but I just think she's, like, fabulous, you know? And so together we're nitro and glycerin. It just works.
Yeah, I mean, you know, one of the things about Elkie that I really love is her voice. I mean, I always hear people comment on Elkie's voice, you know, it's the German accent and she, but I think that that one of the things, and I've told this story so many times, I'm trying to think if I should do it again, but it was the one where you were eating dinner and Elkie was there and the guy was putting a camera to your face.
Oh, are you talking about that? You like that favorite scene that I did when it was my birthday and I was about to blow out the candles that were lit on my birthday cake, and right then and there, right when I was trying to close my eyes to make my wish, there's that guy with his radio show, some guy locally, and put the microphone in my face and said, a little bit more about yourself. Oh my gosh. And then I said, but I haven't made my wish yet. And you think that's so funny, and I don't know why. And you love that video. Why do you love that so much, Johnnie?
The reason I love it is because you were really holding back and trying to be nice. And as far as what you were probably thinking about was wanting to punch the guy in the face. And it's just sort of like, you know. Like, I mean, you know, you were sort of you were really, really annoyed by the guy, but you were holding it in. And, you know.
Well, of course I would hold anything in. I mean, I'm a cordial person with manners, living my elegant life at a fine restaurant. So, of course I would. But thank you for noticing, Johnnie. And it didn't really bother me that much. I just had to tell him. It's communication, but I haven't made my wish yet. It was a funny little video. I'm glad we had that moment on the video.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so funny.
I think you thought it was cute. It was enduring. Yeah. It was cute. And you have sisters. I want to ask you this last question about friendship and family mixed. I have my best friend, Jennifer Bennett, one of them. She has 9 brothers and sisters, but she tells me, I think it's 4 sisters out of all of them. They're very close in age. She loves them. That I am more of a sister to her. She feels like I am more of a sister than any of her real sisters. That always made me feel really good. And I'm wondering if you feel that way, because I know you're very close with your sisters and your family.
Right.
Do you feel like do you feel like you could be closer to a friend than even a family member?
I mean, I think you can, but that's only really true if the family is toxic, which mine isn't. I mean, you know, family knows you really well. They know you better than anybody does. It's like your father knows you better than anybody. Your mother knows you better than anybody. You know,
how do you know all of her brothers and sisters are toxic? But they're not toxic. They're fine individuals. She just feels closer to me than any of them. And that is not the only way that could happen, where she could feel closer to a person that is not her blood. It is not the only way, just because the other ones are dysfunctional and toxic. No. Her brothers and sisters, and her sisters are amazing. And one of them is deaf hard of hearing, went to a completely different school than all of them, and she knows sign language, and Jennifer taught me that, and Sally, it's like that's a whole nother world. You know, she's in another world. It's not like she's some kind of toxic person, Johnny. None of them are. All of her brothers and sisters are wonderful Christians, and they're not toxic. So, no, I have to disagree. I think that a person, humanity, we're all brothers and sisters, and you're going to feel that close bond with another human being, just embrace it. And then enjoy that, be grateful, and then look in your phone book. You know what I want to do? I want to try to call one. It could be a family member I haven't talked to for a long time. You know how so much time goes by, and then it sometimes becomes awkward to just pick up the phone, and you know, okay, this is going to be a 3-hour phone call because I'm going to have to tell them what I've been doing for the last 10 years. So then you avoid it, and pretty soon you've grown apart. So I think that I'm going to just do something different this summer. And one a day is a lot, right, Johnny? Okay, how many people, long-lost people that I care about that have been long-time friends, maybe I lost contact with, but I really value them. And that's what this show is about, to say, hey, everybody, if you value them so much, then go nurture them. So we have to do it as the hosts. We have to be the proof in the pudding and do it. So I'm going to do it. Let's start tomorrow. Let's do one new person a week that we haven't talked to for a long time. Okay. All right, Johnny. Well, thank you for thinking of, or did I think of the shout-out today? Yes, I was just beginning the shout-out. Okay. Well, thanks for listening, and I hope that all of you listeners did get something out of this to where you're thinking, oh, that's true. I'm going to call this person. I'm going to call that person. And we hope that happens for you after listening to this. So make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We also have a private group off of Life After Happiness on Facebook in case people have something like a sensitive subject they want to talk about, then you can write there. And I'm Barbara Moore, your host, along with Jonathan Alexander, Johnny, the waiter, and we will see you this Friday for Psychic Night with Dale Shear. Okay, everybody. Right. Good night for now.
Good night, everyone.
Oh, Johnny, hold on.
Why settle for ordinary when you could have extraordinary? Why trade off when you could trade up? Why chase your dreams when you could drive them? Find your dream car with L certified by Lexus with an unlimited mileage warranty for up to 6 years and a complimentary maintenance plan. Experience amazing exclusively at your Lexus dealer. Click the banner to discover more.
Call 800-USA-LEXUS or see your participating dealer for warranty, maintenance, and offer details.
Interrupted by irritable bowel syndrome with diarrhea? Xifaxan with an X may help. Xifaxan rifaximin is the #1 prescribed treatment approved for adults with IBS-D. Visit Xifaxan.com/IBS-D for the PI or talk to your doctor. Don't use Xifaxan if you have a history of sensitivity to rifaximin, rifamycin antibiotic agents, or any components of Xifaxan. Tell your doctor right away if your diarrhea worsens while taking Xifaxan, as this may be a sign of a serious or even fatal condition. Tell your doctor if you are pregnant, plan on becoming pregnant, are nursing, if you have liver disease, taking warfarin, or other medications. Some medications may increase the amount of Xifaxan in your body. Most common side effects are nausea and an increase in liver enzymes.